Hi everybody, welcome back. So as promised, this is the second part of the video. That is, if you watched the previous video to the end, you probably heard me saying that I would bring the second part of the previous video, which is men who weaponize food and hunger against women, right? So let's quickly get into it.
Ma, I gotta feed my fiance first. There you go, baby. You're so welcome.
Oh my God.
Hey, good morning, TikTok. I got a question and a statement. So I posted on social media on Facebook that no married man, the head of the household, should be last when receiving plates. He should get his plate first. Facebook went in an uproar. Every woman on my status got upset saying, I'm going to feed my kids first. The man can get his plate last. But I have a simple question. I ain't trying to incite no riot. But if he's the man, if he's the head of the household and y'all are married, now I'm not talking about sneakily. I'm not talking about boyfriend, girlfriend, married. If y'all are married and he is the man of the house, he's the head of the house, he provides the food, he's the provider, what is wrong with him getting his plate first? I'm not saying he got to eat first, but as a sign of respect, how I was raised, how I was brought up in my family, the man, the husband received his plate first. What is wrong with that?
Okay, I have a question for you.
Okay, come here.
If you were to make your food, like if you were to make food and then you have your husband and your kids, technically we don't count because we're all old enough, so technically it would just be Scott. Who would you serve first? Like, who would you give the food first to? Would you give it to Scott or would you give it to your husband? Like, who eats first in this house, the kids or the husband?
Okay. I am from Ghana, so I am going to answer it how I was brought up, what I saw, and that is how I do it. I will serve my husband first.
Hey.
That is what we do. Ghana, you know, when we make after meal, whatever, the first person you will serve is your husband. And your husband is the one that gets a lot of meat. Most of the meat.
So your husband eats first before the kids?
Yes, he eats first before the kids, and he gets a lot of meat. More than the kids will have.
Wow.
Yes. Who do you serve first? That is how I saw when I was growing up. You know, my mom will serve my dad first. Even my dad has to finish eating first before we will eat.
Hey.
Yeah.
It kind of freaks me out how normal it is in South Asian culture for the women to be slaving away all day in the kitchen, but to then say, let the men eat first. They literally eat the leftovers of the food that they've spent all day making. It's nuts.
I don't know about y'all table, but at mine, my husband gets served first. Why? Because he provided the table. Yeah, my kid's hungry, but my man is hungrier. From providing, from protecting. He pours into this family unconditionally. Serving him first is honor, not neglect to my kids. And this is just how we do it in my house. Honor pours down. Honor flows down and around. Love your man and your kids, but know who God made the head.
Yeah. I'm sure so many people know about this. So many people have heard about this. So many people have experienced this as children growing up, or even as adults in their own relationships, in their own homes. They've seen their parents do this and so on and so forth. And it's not new to me. As a child growing up in Ghana, West Africa, I saw a lot of things when I was younger. Now, personally, because I was an only child and I was one of those kids who were very picky with food, I didn't necessarily experience, oh, daddy eats first and so on and so forth. If anything, my parents did well to eat with me just to help me, encourage me to eat. I was so skinny, a lot of people thought I was sick. Now I'm a big bag. So to be honest, my experience was different. However, I saw so many kids, so many friends of mine who had that in their homes. Like, the father in the house must eat first. Like, he gets the best of everything. If in some households, if the dad is not home, his food will be set aside. He gets the best meat in the house, the best table, the best everything, there's special treatment for the father in the house, and in other households, like if daddy is not home, you're not eating. I've heard so many stories and seen so many things. So yeah, I'm sure by now it's not like back then with most people, because obviously people are waking up to a lot of these things, and it's not just in Ghana or African cultures, but I've seen so many people. Even while I was compiling the videos for this particular one, I saw so many women and men talk about this. Who gets the best portion or the first plate in the house? There's a whole debate going on about it. Some women insist that their husbands are fed first. So many people with their different opinions about this whole situation, and I believe it goes hand in hand with the previous topic, because that's how it starts. Okay, that's the beginning of it. In my humble opinion, that's how I see it. So let's quickly get into that quickly, and I'm going to come back and talk some more. Leave your own thoughts, your experiences, your stories in the comments, and let's get in.
I've been seeing the plate debate on social media for years now. And I hate to take it here, but actually I'm lying. I don't hate to take it here. I love it. The funniest thing about this subject is that queer people are always accused of getting mad over stupid shit. We do too much. We're worried about the wrong things. We're too extra. But the straights are arguing about the order in which they serve dinner. I mean, they are in that girl's comments chewing her the up, saying that her man is going to leave her. She wasn't raised right. Any man who would accept her behavior is crazy. All over the fact that she gave her son chicken and fries over her husband. And I know some of y'all are going to be in the comments like, oh, you don't understand. It's about respecting the man of the house. And you're right. I don't understand. I don't understand how religion and patriarchy has y'all in such a chokehold that some of y'all are mad that a child is getting food before a grown-ass man. You over there beefing with little TJ about a plate of ass lasagna. Do better.
Craziest conversation I see on TikTok right now is how some men will weaponize food in the household. So they'll either eat all of it, or they will tell kids that they're not allowed to eat too much, or there's like rules who's allowed to eat first. And I find that absolutely insane, because how is it that you want to be the provider and the protector, but you're doing literally the opposite? And a personal story that comes to my mind is I grew up in a patriarchal society in a very small village in Ukraine. Everybody in the household had a role to play. My grandpa was definitely the patriarch, and every so often he would open up about his childhood, and he had these large sacks. Ow, it's broken nail. He had these large sacks of acorns he had to bring for the pig, or twigs for the fireplace. He had to go and forage for the shit, because it was, again, village Ukraine. Or mushrooms, we used to do that as kids. And he had to bring these giant sacks home. And he said, if I didn't bring a full sack, my parents wouldn't let me eat. And I was like, oh, Grandpa, you're so silly. I don't think he was kidding. They had 9 kids in the Soviet Union. It was honest to God survival of the fittest. And so you know what my grandfather used to do when he had kids and grandkids? Do you know who used to eat first? The kids. My grandfather would have his plate. He would always have it in front of the TV. And right next to him was always a kid. There was 6 of us grandkids. Every single one of us sat next to him at some point in time and ate our dinner with him. First, everyone had food. The women had food. The men had food. We never rationed it. And what's interesting is, so my grandpa was really insane, kind of. Very temperamental person. But what was interesting is his kids' friends, so my uncle, my aunt, and my mom, they used to like to come over to my grandparents' house because no matter how poor everybody was at that time, my house always had food. And the grandparents would always feed them. So no matter how crazy they were, they always fed people. And I just think that's such an interesting conversation in modern age where we have so many more resources. Like, is it just the ego? Like, people remember that. Why are we rationing food? Why are we eating all the leftovers? Why are we taking the resources away from the rest of the household? Not replenishing those resources. I'm just saying, if you're gonna want to be the provide and protector kind of type, do that. Do that.
You cannot ever debate me on this husband eats before kids situation. I come from a 2-parent household, and yes, my parents were married. My father is heavy and tall, and as strong and tall as he is, and deep voice, he was never so insecure where he said he had to eat before his babies did. Even all the way up until teenage years, he still called us his babies. Even as adults, he still calls us his babies. If my mother dared feed him before we ate, it was gonna be a problem in that household, because that's just how much my dad loves his babies. He was never, insecure or on a power trip or just, and my dad ran the household, and that's how he structured his household. My daddy worked 16 hours or more in summer, southern Arkansas or Texas heat, wherever he was working at the time. Came home, we had better be fed, and then he could eat. And if the food wasn't ready, that's okay. The only way he ate first is if we got older, we were on the game or, on the phone. And of course, he not finna stand around and wait. He finna go eat. But the natural way he structured his household, and any dad that loves their kids, the kids eat first. Because adults eat more than children. So it doesn't make sense to gobble up all the food and leave the scraps for the kids. But then again, we outside of culture, so I guess that's another reason you trying to debate me. And I hope you don't take this as a dig, but a lot of y'all don't come from a two-parent household. Your parents weren't married. They weren't even together. You didn't create a two-parent household. You didn't get married until 2, 3, 4, 5 kids later. Don't you ever tell me what a marriage or a household is supposed to be like, and this your first time seeing it. And everybody in my family married. My parents was married. Their parents was married, and on up and so forth. Are you serious?
Who are you guys feeding first in your house? Like, I see some people, they serve their husband first. Okay, who do you feed first? The husband, yourself, or the kids? I see a lot of people, they serve their husband first, and then some people serve the kids first. I usually serve myself first. I usually eat while I'm making food. Yeah, and then I serve my kids. I always serve, sometimes I serve my husband or my kids, depending on who's ready to eat, because my husband, sometimes he's not ready to eat. He might not be home yet, and it just depends, But I see other women that say, nobody eats until my husband eats first. And I'm like, actually, I have to eat first. I have to eat first because I need to take care of myself first. Because guess what? If I'm not well taken care of, nobody else is gonna eat. That's why, ladies, you need to serve yourself first. Take care of yourself first. Because if you're not eating and you're not healthy, how can you feed all these other people? That's how I look at it. I mean, I always put myself first no matter what. No matter what. Because if I'm not good, nobody is. I usually always eat first. Yeah, eat first. I know you guys know that. Because you guys always say I'm a biggie.
Why would dad get the biggest piece of chicken when all the did was go to work? No shade.
First thing I gotta say is I love your content, okay? You got some master fucking skills about how to... I see what you're doing. I see. But second thing, okay? My beautiful black queen of a wife, I live to serve her. I live to work for her. And so every chance I get her the first plate. But she lives to serve me. She lives to serve me. And that's why every chance she gets, she gives me the first plate. Now, one other thing that's real up in our society right now is we think that the children come first. I'm gonna say something real controversial. They are the fruit of the marriage. The union between man and wife produces fruit. Now, you cannot put the apple in front of the apple tree. You put your wife and your marriage and your spouse first 100% every time. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't spend your entire life working and growing beautiful, perfect apples that have seeds in them to plant new trees to produce more apples. You understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Marriage, your wife, husband and wife, it's God, then the marriage, and then the fruit of the marriage. Y'all got it backwards. You do children, then you do your relationships, and then you do God. My humble opinion. See you on the next one, sucker.
Who eats first, your man or your kids? When you put it into perspective, it only takes about 60 to 90 seconds to fix a plate. Most people fix plates altogether. So 60 to 90 seconds to fix a plate. That means your kids are only eating 60 seconds later. They're not going through any hardships or any kind of struggle. And when you fix your man's plate and you give it to him first, he feels a sense of pride. That is just a simple gesture to show that you appreciate him, you love him, you respect him, you appreciate all that he does. Even if he only pays 50% of the bill, what percentage of the bills are the kids paying? Think about that. Now, when you say, I'm only going to feed my kids first, hypothetically, you are a woman who loves your kids and will never put any man above them. But in actuality, you are a disrespectful woman who does not appreciate that man, does not respect him, and refuses to show him any kind of gesture of appreciation. That's it.
In your home, who eats first? The husband or the kids? Why not the mom? But it's a serious question. Who eats first, the husband or the kids? Because my wife will cook. She will cook all day. And then when she serves, me personally, the kids eat first. And then she'll serve my plate. But I will not eat until she eats. Because she did all that hard work. And if I cook, my kids still eat first. And then I serve my wife. And in return, she will not eat until I eat. Because that's just the way we are. But in your home, who eats first? I want to know. Let me know in the comments. I want to know. I think it's only right that the kids should eat first. And I'm not going to eat without my wife. I think it's a respect issue, and I love her that much. So, let me know.
Should the man of the house get the first plate of food? Let's say you're married. A man, woman, and 2 children. And it's dinner time. It's Monday night. And your man walks in the house and the kids are hungry. You know they're hungry. It's around 7 o'clock. It's dinner time and food is ready. So you get the table ready and you call everybody to come wash their hands and sit down. Should your man get the plate first? Why or why not? Here are my thoughts. In this setting, the man should always get the plate first. And it's not beating the drum that he is superior to everybody. It is placing in the heads of those children divine order within a house. It sets the tone in these children that even in the midst of my uncomfort, the head of the house is still first. He is still the head. And if the mom recognizes this, the children will always follow. And as they get older, they will replicate this order inside of the household. Now, if everybody is going to eat anyway, why not create a type of ceremony out of handing out the food? Create your family tradition so that your family, the last name that you have can carry on forever. You cannot do that if there is no order. What do you think about this? Let me know in the comments.
Yeah, and this is the argument I hear all the time. You know, they want the respect to carry on. They want the children to understand who is the head of the household and so on and so forth. But I feel like a lot of men forget that, number one, the respect that they so much crave comes from the love that they give to the women in their lives. If you love and adore your wife, right, your children are automatically in awe of you. Basically, that's it. It's not so hard, If you love and adore your wife or the woman in your life and you cherish her and you respect her, you're going to pass it on to your children and she will pass it on to the children too. There's nothing wrong with eating together. If you came home, you set the table, she brought the food, it was sat on the table. What is wrong with you plating the kids' food first? And then you guys plating your food together and all of you eating together. Must it be that you eat first to show respect? How is a plate of food going to make your children respect you as a head of the house? I feel like so many men are so obsessed with this quote unquote respect that it makes them forget everything. Respect is earned. Even your children, you must earn their respect. And I hate using religion, but all these things stem from religion, right? And patriarchy. So if that's the case, let's go back there for a second. Because even Jesus Christ was washing the feet of his disciples. If you want respect, you become the servant. The person who is the leader of the house is the person that works more, that sacrifices more. So who is sacrificing more? So if that's the case, then the mom should be the one to eat first. She's the one giving birth to the children, doing the grocery runs, working, paying half of the bills, making sure daddy is happy, cooking and cleaning and doing all of that. If that's the case, then that's the mom. She should be the one crying about being respected. But what do we see most of the times? It's the men who are always crying about being respected. My question still stands. How is a plate of food going to make you the head of the house? Number one, if you are not a provider, if you are not caring, if you are not kind, if you don't take care of your kids, if you're not present, your kids are still going to hate you anyway. They're going to grow up anyway. They're going to see you for who you are anyway. It doesn't matter if you ate first every single day in your life in your house. How do your kids feel about it? How does your wife feel about it? So what is important is kind of a person you are to your children, the love that you show them, your presence, you being humble enough, you being kind, they knowing that, they can talk to you about everything, that you always be there, and all those things that you seek will come to you. Everything, all the respect you seek, the honoring, the love, it comes first from you. You give it so you can get it. It doesn't come from a plate of food. There were so many children who feared their fathers. They feared them. It wasn't because they loved them or respected them. They just feared them. Okay? And they grew up and they hated them. They grew up and they just cut ties with them because they didn't like that. And interestingly enough, there's so many guys out there who went through the same things with their own fathers that they didn't like, right? But they grow up and they want to be their fathers. That part I'll never understand. So personally, if this is what it's going to be, if we are all going to eat at the same time, unless daddy works and he's always late, the children are going to eat, and I am going to eat, and we are going to leave your food. When you come, you eat. It is what it is. If we are all eating at the same time, everybody gets their food, we pray, we eat. Okay? And it's as simple as that. There's no hierarchy or hierarchy or whatever. There's nothing like that. We all eat. When we finish, we do the dishes, and we carry on with our day. Food and plate is not going to give you respect. What gives you respect is how you represent yourself in that household. What gives you respect is the kind of love, your devotion, your presence, how you care for the children, your wife. Those are some of the things that give you respect, that make people miss you. If you want to be respected, be prepared to humble yourself. Be prepared to do more. Be prepared to be the smaller person in the house. Not the other way around. If you are out there, your head is in the cloud somewhere, and I'm a man and I need to be respected and my plate needs to come first because I'm the man, and you lose everything. Your children will grow up, they'll leave you. Your wife is waiting for your children to grow up so she will leave you. Okay? Because you are so obsessed with respect instead of doing what you're supposed to do. I'm sorry. It doesn't take a plate of food. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so stop abusing this whole thing. It's just, to me, it's very stupid. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, I'm going to leave it here and I'll see you again in another one. Leave your own thoughts and opinions in the comments and I'll see you again in another one. Take care of yourselves and one another. Bye.